Well, one of the greatest wrongs in the history of wrestling has finally been righted. Bill Eadie and Barry Darsow, Demolition, have been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026, and I genuinely couldn't be happier. Hello everyone, I'm Ben, this is Ben Veal Talks, and I've just finished watching Bill and Barry's induction speech into the Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. I wish more than anything I could have been there that night to see it in person, but to see it on TV was just as wonderful. It has been fantastic over the last couple of years to get to know Bill and Barry and to have the opportunity to interview Demolition on several occasions. Earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to induct Demolition into the Wrestling Life Hall of Fame. And at the end of this video, I'll drop a clip to the 1 hour long induction that we recorded together with Bill and Barry just this past January. Of course, that's my own independent Hall of Fame, but there's nothing quite like the WWE Hall of Fame. And for probably 20 years, fans have been crying out for Demolition to be inducted. You know, one of the most storied tag teams in history, 3-time tag team champions. They held the record for close to 3 decades for how long you can be tag team champions for. You know, for 80s wrestling fans, they really personified that incredible golden era of tag team wrestling. And for so long, it looked like this would never, ever happen. So to see the moment finally happen and to see Bill and Barry on that stage and the Hall of Fame was actually quite surreal. I found myself very moved watching it, to be honest, because I know how much it means to them and I know how much it means to their incredibly loyal fan base, of which I am one. Now, what I was particularly pleased with was the choice of those who inducted Bill and Barry into the Hall of Fame, because who do you get to induct Demolition into the Hall of Fame? Well, in this case, you pick a cherry pick of, you know, some of your best tag team opponents that you've ever faced. So who do we have? We had Haku from the Colossal Connection, we had Arn Anderson from the Brainbusters, and we had the incredible Warlord from Powers of Pain. What a trio. Can you imagine the 5 of those guys together out on the town in Vegas? That must have been some heavy, heavy night that they had to celebrate in afterwards. But it was just incredible to see all those legends up on a stage together celebrating that moment in 2026. Just reminds me how much I love being a wrestling fan, how much I love this business, and how much respect and appreciation I have for those guys from the 80s that paved the way for where the business is today. It was short but sweet, Bill and Barry's speech. I would have liked to have seen them get a chance to speak for even longer up on that stage. I'm very glad that we managed to have the conversation to go for an hour the last time we spoke for their Wrestling Life Hall of Fame induction, but they made that time count. Barry, you know, is so great on the microphone. I mean, you know, I'm still waiting for Reaper Man to get his own standalone WWE Hall of Fame induction, quite frankly. But Barry is so great and confident up on that microphone. And I loved him sharing memories up on that stage. Particularly loved him giving a shout out to his family. That was wonderful to see. And I'm sure those grandkids were so incredibly, incredibly proud of their grandfather, as I know I would be. And then Bill, obviously, the elder statesman of the team, the masked superstar, took his opportunity to thank those along the way that had paved the way for him, who had made it all possible for him to enter the WWE Hall of Fame, and thanked his wife, and lastly thanked his Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ, before ending with a quote from Dumb and Dumber. Now, you have to be genuinely a wrestling legend to manage to bring your faith in and Dumb and Dumber all into one wonderful speech, and Bill did exactly that. It's a great speech, and if you get a chance, if you're not watching the whole Hall of Fame, then I encourage you to go out of your way to find Demolition's Hall of Fame induction speech and to celebrate that moment, to hear what Haku had to say, to hear what Arn had to say, to hear what the Warlord had to say, and to see Bill and Barry get that moment. I was also so pleased that Barry was able to mention Bryan Adams, of course, the late, great Crush, that 3rd member of the Demolition unit. A lot of people mentioned, why is Crush not being inducted as part of Demolition? I suspect that a solo induction is in the works for Crush. WWE World was showing over WrestleMania weekend. They've been showing the new Mattel figure of Kona Crush. We know that the family of Crush has signed a Legends deal, as has Demolition. I really, really hope that next year or the year after we see Crush enter the WWE Hall of Fame. In the meantime, Bryan Adams, alongside his chronic tag team partner Brian Clark, has entered the Wrestling Life Hall of Fame this year, and you can find that by clicking the links in the comments below as well. So that's two great, incredible tag teams, powerhouse tag teams in Demolition and Chronic, that have got their place in the Independent Wrestling Life Hall of Fame in 2026. I'm going to go back now and watch the rest of the Hall of Fame ceremony. I've been watching it in chunks, and I'll be back later with a full deep dive on my thoughts on the ups and downs of the Hall of Fame 2026. But for now, Bill and Barry, congratulations. You deserve this, my friends. Thank you so much for everything you've given me. Thank you for your friendship. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend in Vegas, as I'm sure you are, and your fans around the world. We all agree. You deserve it. This is Ben Veal, Ben Veal Talks. See you soon. Bye.